Good morning. You are listening to UpReach. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word. And whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ. Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. William Barclay once gave the following advice in his writings. Acquire a Parergon. You don't follow me, do you? Well, it's like this. When I was in Wales once, I met a professor of applied mathematics who was the author of a commentary on the letters to the Corinthians, and a professor of biochemistry who Sunday by Sunday was a most acceptable preacher. In my own university, I know two professors who are expert organists, one a professor of naval architecture, the other a professor of obstetrics. I know a professor of mathematics who is an expert on Gaelic, a professor of Italian who is an authority on birds and bird watching, a professor of mechanical engineering who is a poet in the Scots language, a professor of aeronautics who is an expert actor and dramatic producer. I knew a professor of dentistry who, under different names, wrote wonderful children's stories, who was a poet and who was an expert on Scottish folklore and archaeology. And I know an astronomer who writes the most exciting books of science thriller fiction. Here is a whole list of men, and it could be expanded many times over, who do two things at once. The whole point is that they are so distinguished in their own chosen line just because they do two things at once. The extra thing they do is the very thing which keeps them at concert pitch for their main work, and it is that extra thing which is called in Greek a Parergon. There is a legend about John the Apostle that one day someone found him playing with a tame partridge and criticized him for not being at work. His answer was, "The bow that is always at full stretch will soon cease to shoot straight." Everyone needs some sort of relaxation, and the more he is dedicated to his own job, the more he needs it. Acquire a secondary interest in life, a Parergon. You will work all the better for it, and leisure will become not a problem, but an integral part of the fullness of life. What about you today? Are you keeping your life in balance? Are you maintaining an ultimate level of productivity by varying your interests and balancing your time? Why not ask God to lead you to His place of rest today, so that you can give Him your very best in all things? This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.